Hello, hello. All right. You guys, it's the last one. I can't believe it. So I'm actually in Louisville, Kentucky. We finished our career conference yesterday afternoon. I decided to stay an extra day before I re-enter my world at home. My kids' spring break is next week. And so I'm taking pretty much the entire week off just to hang out with them and do some fun things with them. And so I'm recording this now. It's Sunday morning. And then I'm going to head home so that it's going to be all ready to go for you on Tuesday or whenever you choose to watch it. And so it's the last one. It's Hangout number 13. It has been almost 90 days since we've started. I'm constantly in awe of how quickly time goes by and the pace of life and how it just keeps on flying by. I kind of have feeling a little emotional this morning. That this is ending because I've so enjoyed the journey with you. And this group of women is just phenomenal and classy and excellent. And I know a lot of you just from our Mary Kay journeys and our paths crossing. And I met some of you at leadership and met some of you here in Louisville, Kentucky at career conference. And I love your hearts and I love who you are. And I'm so encouraged that you guys are all over the United States working your Mary Kay business and making an impact and a difference to your family and to the people that you influence. And so I just want to encourage you to keep going and say that it's worth it. The ups and downs, the highs and the lows, even all the really hard stuff that you're going to experience on your journey. Live in a constant state of confidence that it's worth it. You guys, and that what you're doing is making an impact. Even if it doesn't look like it and feel like it sometimes, you're making a difference in people's lives. And every time you lay down your best yes, just to take it to a deep spiritual level, like you are advancing the kingdom of God. When you walk in obedience to the work you've been called to in this business, it makes a difference. And so I hope you're encouraged today. I hope your heart is excited. I hope you're ready for more. I hope you're ready to work for it and continue to grow into the better and best version of who God created you to be. And so we will keep this group alive for as long as Facebook exists. So you have a lifetime subscription to 90 Days of Greatness version 2.0 that we are just about to complete here in the first 90 days of 2018. And so we'll keep the pin post up and all of the resources, and I'll periodically pop in here and post something just to stay connected. So I am doing a Master Your Money Pacesetters program in the spring, actually in kind of the middle April into May. And that's going to be for consultants and directors. I did this last year and I'm bringing it back because we got so much great feedback from it. And I think it's just such an important, it's like a foundational skill and topic to talk about is money management. And so we'll be launching that soon. I'll post it in this group. So more information coming soon. But what I want to do in this hangout is just kind of tie a bow on everything and wrap it all up and talk about goal setting, specifically for the next 90 days. Okay, our seminar year is essentially 4 90-day cycles, and we are entering into the last cycle, which is April 1st to June 30th. And I want to, hopefully, my goal is to equip you to have your best 90 days ever in these next 90 days, April 1st to June 30th. And so I feel like I have given birth to my 5th child. 4 biological ones and 1 brain book. It has been a labor that has taken countless hours and thought and practice and in my own study of and implementation of the skills and the concepts that we have brought together in this brain book. Okay, so it started off as a 90-day. I mean, this has evolved. This has evolved over maybe 4 years or so. And so now I'm giving it a new name. Instead of the 90-day workbook or the 90-day planner, it's called the Brain Book. And it is essentially a collection of tools and tracking and a planner and goal setting that are things that I use personally. Like really, if nobody else uses it, I use it. It is my own personal brain book with some additional things that I use as an NSD that aren't going to be in the one that you see. But I really made it for myself because I want all of these things and all of these tools in my world. And then I hope it's a blessing to you as well. And so, because I love you guys, we're gonna post the last quarter in this group for you guys to use. And as long as you guys give me feedback on it and let me know what typos there are. You guys can be like my guinea pigs for this new version of the brain book, which is very similar to the other 90-day planner. You're going to be familiar with the pages and some of the concepts, although there are some new things in it and some new formatting and some additional resources. It will be familiar to you if you've used the 90-day planner before, but I'm going to give it to you as a gift from me to you and ask that you use it and that you let me know what you think. I know I am creating a resource and a tool based on how I think and how I work and how I operate. But I want to continue to refine it and edit it to speak to how other people think and operate and function. And I want it to be a something that multiple personality styles can use and use effectively. Okay. So I'm going to post it. You guys give me feedback. Okay, so let's take a look at it. I'm gonna walk you through it. It's pretty self-explanatory, you guys. You could look at it, and then the goal would be that you wouldn't need an explanation. That anybody could have it, look at it, and use it. But there are a couple parts that I just want you to be aware of. That hopefully, knowing these things, you can use it more effectively. Okay, so let's take a look here. And I'm just going to talk you through it. That's what we're going to spend the rest of this hangout doing. And so you're going to, trying to screen share it here. Application window. Hold on. Hang tight for just a minute here, you guys. Let me get rid of all this stuff. Figure out where that is. Where do I get this? Oh, goodness. I'm figuring out how to screen share this document that is not fully downloaded right now on my on my thing here. Okay. Screen share. Come on. Okay, let's see if that comes up. Okay, I really thought I was 100% prepared here. And actually, this is not I know what the problem is here. Hmm, that's not really what we need this to look like. That's really weird. Uh, that's not helping us. Oh, goodness. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Present to everyone. Yay! Okay, now let me make sure what you're seeing is what I'm seeing. And we are doing this together. Yes, we are. Dun da da da! No! Where'd it go? Let's see. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Okay. All right. Here we are, you guys. The Brain Book, my fifth child. This is for quarter one. Starting in probably early June, you guys, as we refine it and get your feedback and find little typos, we're going to be creating a seminar 2019 brain book and just making that available to be downloaded on my website just for a small cost. And so keep an eye out for this one, for that one. But this is April, May, and June, last quarter of the seminar year. We've got the table of contents here, which lists everything that's a part of this packet and workbook, and some helpful hints. You guys, this is meant to be printed double-sided. So when you go to get this printed, make sure that that's what's happening, because when it what's really important about the layout and the formatting is when you open the book and you see both sides, your weeks at a glance should be lined up. And so you should open the book and have both sides visible with your weeks connecting. It makes it really hard to look at when they're not. Although still, I accidentally printed a version this past quarter for myself that the week at a glances were not lined up, and it's manageable, but it's just not visually helpful. And so you'll want to print it double-sided. It's also helpful to add tabs, and I just add my own, you know, those little sticky ones that you can get. I add my own and title them myself. You could have FedEx do this. You guys, they do it, but it just costs a little bit more. And so I just get the tabs. I like to have my month at a glance tabbed, my Sunday planning, my tracking my small daily wins, power program tracking. Those are tabs that I typically have in mine. But then, of course, you can use your own, your own tabbing system with whatever works for you. There is our new version of new consultant tracking and career survey tracking are at the very end of the book. They're the last 2 pages. And you can choose the quantity of how many you would like to have printed in your brain book, if any at all, if you use those tools. And so, you would estimate, okay, how many new consultants are we going to add this quarter? What's my goal? And there's 4 boxes per page. And so you would just print as many as you think you're going to need. And then same for career survey tracking. You might print, however many you think you need. Now, if there's not a page you would use, don't have it printed. You can do that, but bear in mind that when you take something out or have, Kinko's or FedEx or whoever you have printed, it does throw off the formatting, okay? So if you take like tracking small daily wins out, it does impact how it's being formatted. And so you might just need to go through or have somebody at FedEx go through and make sure your weeks at a glance are lining up, okay? I hope that makes sense. Those are just a couple of helpful tips to use it. So it starts with goal setting. Goal setting for the next 90 days. And I want to encourage you to take like a quiet moment, a come to Jesus moment in a coffee shop or an environment that allows you to be peaceful and restful, an environment without distractions, just a place where you can get centered and feel calm and thoughtful. If you try to just frantically process through these or not give yourself enough time, or if you're in an environment that's distracting, it's not as beneficial. It's not as helpful. And so you really want to use these questions to self-coach, to process, to think, to uncover limiting beliefs, to uncover and clarify your vision. And that's what these questions are designed to do. Now, not every question is going to trigger something in you, but some of them will. And you want to use it to just guide your thinking and get more centered on your vision. Okay, so take your time as you're filling these out. And yes, I do ask myself the same questions every 90 days. Every 90 days, I'm processing through these same questions because the picture always changes, and we're in a constant state of change. And so your answers 90 days ago, they're gonna be different, or you may just need a reminder about what you were thinking 90 days ago. Okay. So those are the first couple of pages are those questions. And then here's the question that says, what would have to happen for you to be able to say this was your best seminar year ever? And so you put that big goal, and that's going to be June 30th. You know, we're in the last 90 days here. And so what is your June 30th goal? And not the goal you think you should set or the one your national wants you to set, but like really, truly, what's on your heart? What would feel like a win and victory for you on June 30th? What's non-negotiable to you? And don't set a goal you want but aren't willing to work for, okay? That's something else to really factor in. Yeah, we all want a Cadillac and a trip, but what's your willingness level to do the work that takes right now? And you've got to just be honest with your own heart and mind about that. Okay, so what would have to happen? And then what are your 50 reasons? You know, 50 reasons, I don't necessarily think it has to be done every quarter. You might have a fresh 50 reasons from 90 days ago. And so this is one of those exercises that if just reviewing your 50 reasons from 90 days ago is beneficial, you can do that. Or sometimes we need a new fresh list. And so that's going to be up to you with how you choose to use this section. Okay. Oh, see, there's a typo. That 50 right there is not the same font and boldness as the other numbers. Okay. And then you're going to highlight your top 25 and then put stars by your top 5. And this is the point of this is to create a mission statement for you. That's how I created my very first mission statement that I wrote in my business, was going through this exercise. Now, again, you may have a new, fresh, clear vision statement that you have written out before. And so I don't think you necessarily need a new one unless you think it's time in life or a season of life that you do get a new, fresh clarity on what your mission is. Okay, and then your mission statement, you guys, this is something you put on your website, you put on your bio page, you share with your unit, you read it every day, you have it maybe printed and hanging on a goal poster in your office. I mean, this is the kind of thing you want to keep in front of you. This is your why. This is your vision. This is who you want to be in the life you want to live. And so don't just leave it right here in this 90-day planner to be forgotten. We've got to keep that stuff in front of us. Okay, step 2 is some number crunching. And I worked really hard to reformat this because I wasn't in love with the old format of how it was. And so I really was focused on improving this, okay? And so again, you set your year-long seminar goal. It's the same one you wrote on a couple pages ago. And we're going to set goals for the next 90 days. And the objective, the main goal of this number crunching section is to identify the daily wins or the daily activities or small daily wins, that's SDWs, that will create the growth to achieve your year-long seminar goal. Nothing changes until you change what you do daily. And every huge goal can be broken down into small, achievable, bite-sized micro wins and activities. Okay. It really, we've got to have such clarity on what the daily picture looks like. I mean, such clarity, because that's where it's at, you guys. It's what you choose to do daily. And you can be taking a step or multiple steps towards your goal every single day. Okay, so we've got personal core to sales, personal core to sharing. And guys, I just want to give you freedom that if this is not your goal and this is not your focus, just don't, then skip it. Don't do it. Don't look at it. Don't do things that aren't totally beneficial to you having clarity and focus. Okay. And maybe it's not the national court, maybe it's your area court at 20,000 retail or 12 personal qualifieds. And so again, we want to get to this bottom part here where I left some blank space for you to really write out what the daily activity looks like. And so you crunch all these numbers, but then the main goal is to break it down to a 24-hour time frame. What needs to happen every day for the big goal to happen? Okay, we did the same thing for your unit size, growing your unit size, hitting your monthly production that you need to hit in April, May, and June to finish your goal. And then we put in a section here about your life goals for the next 90 days. Circle 1 to 2 areas you want to grow in, and what is the activity you will do to grow in that area. Let me give you an example of this. A couple years ago, Cliff and I wanted to have just some marriage goals. Imagine that, right? And so I was actually doing this 100-day goal setting program with oh gosh, what's his name? Gary Ryan something. He's the goals guy. He's been featured in Success Magazine, and he does this 100-day challenge. And he's masterful on teaching goal setting, just masterful. A lot of what I've learned from him, and he's just so big on the activity, like the behavior, because until your behavior changes, until choices change, nothing else changes. And so if you have marriage goals, like what specific activity are you going to do to grow in that area? And so Cliff and I decided to read a book together over a 90-day time frame, and then do a once a week date night. So for 90 days, we read this book, and then every Thursday night, we went on a date, typically went out to dinner, and we'd talk about the book, and then obviously just talk about other things as well. And so that's an example of, like, if you want to grow in these areas, there has to be like specific behavior, specific activity, things that you're doing that will create growth in these areas. All right, so we've got that going on. Okay, this kind of moves us into the next section, which is your 90-day communication strategy. And this is typically with your unit, but your customers can also be a part of this communication strategy. And these questions that I have here are designed to help you think through what kind of communication to have with your unit, and then to break it down to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so you have a system for that communication. Remember, this avoids the oh crap feeling, like, oh crap, it's the end of the quarter and I haven't even planned my star outing, or oh crap, it's the end of the month and I don't know who's finishing their power program or their pearls of sharing. It avoids that oh crap feeling, because you know you're touching some of these programs every single week. You're putting your hands on them, sometimes only for 5 minutes and sometimes for a lot more time than that. But you want to have a 90-day and a weekly communication strategy. And I've always found it so helpful to do 1 or 2 programs each day. So you do the STAR program one day, you do the Power program follow-up and communication another day, you do event campaigning on another day, so that you're touching these really important programs every single week. And then, so once you outline it here, you guys, you've got to plug your 90-day communication strategy into your week at a glance. So I'll kind of scribble it out and design it here, but you can't keep it there because you're not going to remember. And so then once I have this designed on my Monday through Saturday, Then I'm moving to my week at a glance section that's further on in the workbook to plug it in so that I know every Monday I'm doing this, and every Tuesday I'm doing this, and every Wednesday I'm doing this. Okay, we can't just leave it here. This is just a page for you to design it, and then you got to move it to a place where you're going to remember to do it. Okay. Moving on, identifying my small daily wins, SDWs. Okay, again, you're answering the question, what would have to happen in your business for you to say this was the best seminar year ever? And then what small daily wins would directly influence the goal you've just written down? Pick only 2 to 3 behaviors that are stupid simple. That's very important. They've got to be stupid simple that can create a sense of victory every day. They have to be micro wins that can be easily accomplished every day, but will also move you towards your goal. The biggest pitfall when identifying SDWs is not being specific enough. So be as specific as possible. So let me explain this section, you guys, because we're doing a couple different things here. You're sort of going back to this. Remember, you're identifying in these blank spaces what needs to happen daily. So those could be, they don't have to necessarily be, but they could be one of your small daily wins. Could be that activity you listed. But small daily wins also include creating healthy habits and or replacing unhealthy habits. Okay, so you almost think of your small daily wins as IPAs. IPAs are a part of that, just activity that's moving you towards your goal and that's creating an income. But then they're also ways to create healthy habits. And so you might have a little bit of both. Let me give you an example. Maybe a goal to book 2 parties a day, get 2 bookings a day, and then also to do your miracle morning every morning. If for those of you who are familiar with the book by Hal Elrod, he teaches you how to structure and design the first hour of your day to get a good start to your day. Now, what does the miracle morning have to do with income producing activities? Well, here's my answer. It has nothing to do with them, but everything to do with them all at the same time. So your miracle morning is not booking, coaching, selling, and recruiting. But oh my goodness, when you start your day with a miracle morning and that structured first hour that's breathing life and belief into your mind, your body, your soul, that impacts everything. Okay, so it's not income producing activities, but it sets you up for a successful, productive, winning day. And so that might be one of your SDWs, is to have a miracle morning and to track that. I know for the season I was moving to national, it was a busy season of life, very busy season of life. And I decided that my one thing personally, besides my work and my activity, my one thing was to have a quiet time every morning and to make sure I was bringing myself and my goal before God every morning and praying about it and walking with him, intimately walking with him on the journey to NSD. And so that, although I didn't call it that at the time because I hadn't really learned what I've learned now about small daily wins, it was one of my SDWs, was to have that quiet time. Okay, so what did that have to do with income producing activities to build my national area? Nothing and everything, all at the same time. Okay, so another common pitfall with identifying SDWs is just having too many. If you have too many and you can't really legitimately get them all done, it has a negative impact on you, because then you're just feeling defeated and not feeling like you're winning. So these have to be 2 to 5, no more than 5. And even 5 is a little bit on the heavy side. And for 90 days, you work on these 2 to 5 SDWs and you track it. And that's something that's kind of new, is this tracking small daily wins page that I'm going to show you in a few minutes, that shows you how to track these once you identify them. So you can't just leave them here because you're going to forget. We're going to transfer these 2 to 5 SDWs to your 15-day tracking sheet and your tracking small daily wins sheet. Okay. All right, step 5 is pretty straightforward. I did include this in there, strategy for building stars. This page is going to be in there every single quarter, just as a reminder for what you could possibly do each week of the star quarter. And then I have a blank spot for you to, of course, add your own ideas and add your own flair and style to your star strategy. And I did leave these bullet points like fairly vague in general, just because I know everybody does it a little bit different. And so I just wanted to put this in here to spark the ideas and the planning and the strategy for your quarter for building stars. Okay, and here's star tracking. So you put down who in your unit could be a star, your star goal, and then you're tracking your stars in here as you're adding them. And you do the same thing for event campaigning. And so this would be, you guys, for seminar. The event coming up this quarter is seminar in July. And so we're going to spend the next 90 days, now that career conference is over, we're going to campaign for seminar now. And so this gives you the space to make your A, B, and C list. So you've always got that list. You can always go back to it when it's time to campaign. And then this is something that you put on your 90-day communication strategy is event campaigning. Okay, so when I have an event campaigning day, this is where I flip. I just flip to this list, see who's on my list and who I need to follow up with, communicate with, have a conversation with. Okay. And then we've got our April month at a glance. And then we've got our weekly, our week at a glance. And these are the ones that you want, these 2 pages right here, page 14 and page 15. When you open the book, you want them to be together so you can see the entire week at a glance. Monday, April 2nd, you want that to connect to Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay, so some things we've added here is your #1 focus for the week. We want you to identify that, and then we've also added a weekly review. So at the end of the week, you can just do a quick review of, okay, what went well this week? What was disappointing? What was my biggest win? What did I learn? We've got to constantly stay in that self-coaching mode. What's going well? What's not going so well? Where am I winning? What am I learning? We want to constantly be in that mode, and this gives you the space to do that review every single week. Okay, then we get into the 15-day tracking. This is where so remember you identified your SDWs. Now you write them down here and you're tracking them on the days that you complete them. You can track who's moving up, the book that you're reading. You can track who you're in front of. And this is just like, you could even just put check marks here. I know it's a really small spot, but I wanted to give you just the space to kind of look at a glance and see who you've been in front of. So it could be names, numbers, check marks, doesn't matter, because there is another place to track this more with more information. Then you're tracking your own personal activity here, your new agreements, your Power Program achievers. You can do anything for 15 days. And so the goal would be to have this complete, you want pin marks all over this. You don't want this blank after 15 days. You want this written all over. And that's just it's a good visual sign to glance at it. And either you've got a lot of pin marks on there or you don't. And so it's a great way to stay on top of the activity that is or is not happening in your business. Okay, so you track that for 15 days. And then we've got more weeks at a glance here. And then we've got our brain dump. So this is a brain dump you're going to use for there's one sheet for the entire month of April, broken into 4 boxes. So ideally every Sunday or maybe Monday morning or whenever you do your weekly planning, you're using 1 box for the week. And so you write down everything rattling around in your head that you want and need to do. You're going to dump it out onto this page and then prioritize it. After you complete the brain dump, you're then going to connect these things to your top 3 goals in the Sunday planning sheet. If your items on your list are not directly connected to your top 3, you have a choice. You can either eliminate it. That means you don't do it. Number 2, you have someone else do it. You delegate it. Number 3, you create a better system for it to happen. You automate things. You make things systematic. Or you do it before or after non-people. You do it during non-people hours before or after 9. Or you just save it for a different time or season of life. I am a master at prioritizing my best yes in this season of life. Okay, so this helps you identify your priorities. You brain dump, And then here's Sunday planning. It's on the very next page. You use one box for each week. Okay, so one box for each week here, and then one box for each week here. You've got your top 3 goals, and I'm okay if you only have one. You guys, if you only have one in there, that may even be more effective. But it does give you space to have your top 3. And remember, you're taking your brain dumped list, and then you're putting the items in these boxes. And then there's this miscellaneous box. This is the devil's vortex. These are the things that you consider eliminating, delegating, automating, saving for a different season, or doing before 9 or after 9 p.m. Okay. This is an effective tool to be crazy aware of the choices you're making and living with such a high level of intention. All right. Now tracking small daily wins. This is a new one. You guys remember the page you identified your SDWs? Well, you write them here, and this is just a quick weekly way to track them. And I just put yes, Y or N. Like, okay, my goal is to have a miracle morning. Monday, yes. Tuesday, yes. Wednesday, no. So I'm just putting yes or no. You could put hearts or stars or smiley faces or however you want to do it. And then you put your goal. My goal is 7 days a week. I want to have a miracle morning. Your net. I only did it 5 days a week. Did you achieve your goal? No. Okay. So again, it's just it's some accountability. It's some awareness, because sometimes we think we're doing things and really come to find out we're not only doing them 3 days a week, and we wanted to do them 7 days a week. Okay. So this helps keep us accountable and very aware. Then we've got book 5 to 10 tracking to use once a month. We've got power program tracking, beat your best tracking, which we do once a month. And then you just got a page for notes and doodling and information, however you want to use that page. And then we've got we're on to more week at a glance. We're repeating all of this for May now. We're into May. We go through all the same information. So you see how it'd be nice to like have the small daily wins tabbed, Sunday planning tabbed, so you can flip there quickly each month. And then we're into June now, and we're just repeating the same information again. And then here we are at the end. This is the new version of New Consultant Tracking. I now have the 12-step program, my version of the 12-step program down here. And then this is career survey tracking. So again, you're choosing how many of these you want to have printed. And then I have a tab for New Consultant Tracking so that I can so I can quickly flip to my New Consultant Tracking. And when it's time to do NCFU, New Consultant Follow-Up, I just flip there real quick, and I can see all the new consultants that we've added for the quarter or even the year. Oh my goodness, you guys. There you have it. Okay, I'm back. I've been eating my oatmeal as I've been talking. I hope it blesses you, you guys. And goal setting, the whole goal setting process, you guys, it's so simple. It's really simple. Okay, set a goal. Okay, I want to do this. So it's simple, yet it's very profound in how you execute it. It's one thing to set a goal, but then to actually live it out on a daily basis and execute every day and walk in intention and obedience every day, that's a whole another ballgame. And so myself, like I know most of you, I want to get to the end of my life and have no regrets, and to really, truly, like from my heart say, I did the best I could with what you've given me. And I want God at the end of my life to look at me and say that, like, you did the best you could with what I gave you. And there may not be anything I want more in this life than to be able to say that. And I know it's not going to be perfect, and it's not even about perfection, but just really showing up every day and doing the best I can with what I've been given, and taking the highest level of responsibility and obedience and integrity with what God has given to me. And so, to take this brain book kind of to a deep level, that's what it is for me, and that's why I've designed it for myself, is because it's just a tool to allow me to do that, and to allow me to live that out, and to guide me, keep me accountable, guide my thoughts, my thinking, my planning, to live life with intention and obedience. So I pray it blesses you guys. I'll be in touch. There's a couple of Facebook Lives I have planned here for this week. So I'm going to be checking into this group. I'm going to let you know more about our Master Your Money program. And I love you guys. God bless you. Have a beautiful day.